Go to Texas Republican Tony Gonzales. He has a unique distinction of representing a district that includes better than 800 miles on the border. Congressman, very good to have you.
Thank you, Neil, for having me.
This back and forth and the lawsuits now expanding from the White House to go after the governor's plan to have law enforcement arrest migrants, have judges deport them. That goes too far. Secondly, saying this action to ship migrants to all points north. Also an illegal act. So a lot of suing going on here, but not a lot of doing going on here.
Yeah, the DOJ should focus on protecting Americans and not suing Texans. But before getting further into the border, I represent Uvalde. So seeing what happened in Iowa, the school shooting in Iowa is very real. I reached out to Zach Nunn, who represents Perry, Iowa, and our teams are working together. When there was a shooting in Maine, I reached out to Jared Golden, who's a Democrat, and working on this. And, you know, these shootings, imagine you're eating breakfast at school that all of us have done and you get murdered. This has to come to an end. And I've been an advocate. We can both protect our children in school and we can also protect the Constitution. This whole, it has to be either or is nonsense. But I wanted to mention that because it's just, sure, it's a very raw emotion that I'm feeling.
Well, and justifiably so. We don't know all the details, but to your point, Congressman, the two sides agreed that it's got to stop, but sadly it doesn't. And related to this border issue, the two sides agree we've got to do something about this outright civ that has allowed tens of thousands to enter this country at a pace it's picking up. But how do you do that? Right now, the best that a few dozen of your colleagues could do yesterday in a visit to the border was to point out that the president isn't doing anything and that the Homeland Security Secretary should resign or be impeached. How does that move the ball forward?
Yeah, a big part of life is showing up, and the fact that we got over 60 members to show up yesterday, and all of a sudden the spigot got turned off. And all of a sudden, yesterday, this whole week, actually, there's been over 1,000 Border Patrol agents from the Del Rio sector that were not processing people, that were out in the field doing their job. That is a win. That is what they should be doing. 2 weeks ago, when I was in Eagle Pass, where there were thousands of people in detention, there were 0 Border Patrol agents out there. Tomorrow, I will be hosting my 22nd Congressional Codel. This time will be a Democrat. It'll be Don Davis from North Carolina. So I think this is a positive development where we're going to have, I think this can't be a partisan issue. This has to be in a bipartisan manner. How do we secure our border and keep all Americans safe?
Now, you stood out not too long ago, Congressman, for kind of bristling at your party that some of its measures were a little severe. You've since said that the overall goal of trying to cut down on this incredible migrant surge was your only goal. But it did make me get back to this Mayorkas situation, the move to impeach him, because that might or might not happen, but it's unlikely without the president letting it happen, without the president just saying, you got to go, you're a disaster. That doesn't appear likely. So is that move a waste of time?
I think the Americans demand we hold people accountable. But going down the impeachment route, you can already see what's going to happen. Let's say the House is successful, impeaches Mayorkas, and we all, pat ourselves on the back as fast as we possibly can. How does that help us secure the border? I'm looking at real, tangible solutions, and part of that is finding a way. I work very hard on House Bill H.R. 2. I worked with my colleagues. We arm wrestled. We put together a bill that could ultimately get in the House. I was speaking earlier today with one of the senators that is negotiating this package. I want them to be successful, and ultimately, I want to see a national security package that isn't window dressing, that actually addresses some of the solutions. What I've been advocating for. House Republicans should be fighting for a down payment on border security in 2024, and we come back for the rest when we win the White House.
Got it. We'll watch it closely. Congressman, thank you for taking the time to speak with us. It's been a busy few days for you. That's an understatement.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.